It was chaotic. It was just nonstop, in your face. I feel like these are the shows we usually get where we're like, oh man, these holiday shows suck, man. They don't put no effort into them or anything. They put a lot of effort into this one tonight because it was chaos. There was a lot of moving parts tonight. It was a thoroughly enjoyable show. Unfortunately, the crowd wasn't so hot, but that's okay. I can look past it. Great show tonight. Then we got Dennis Knott. So what up? What up? Thank you for joining, Dennis. So right into it. The show starts off with none other than Paul Heyman. And I'm like, what? Didn't see this one coming. Did not see this one coming at all. Always nice to see a surprise. And basically he introduces Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns says, you know what? I'm getting tired of this Kevin Owens nonsense. Always coming on my show. So I'm going to return the favor. He's going to need the whole Raw roster to save him because I'm going to end that man. So what we got, oh, thank you, babe. Thank you, babe. Looking good as well. What we got here now is Roman Reigns is now completely unhinged. This man is like, he's not cool and calm like he normally is. He's mad, and he's about to take it out on people. And then from there, it would go straight to the bloodline, and they're attacking Mustafa Ali and two other talents in the back, just taking them out. And it's like, okay, we're getting a kind of takeover nonsense here tonight. Good evening, and thank you for joining, David. Thank you for joining. Very interesting way to start the show because, again, they didn't promote Roman on the show tonight. And, I mean, technically he wasn't there, but still, he was on the show. And it's like, okay, what you got going on tonight? So, yeah, a little bit of chaos to start the show. I'm all for it, though. Let's see where it goes. Then we go right into a Street Profits versus Finn and Priest match. Not a bad match. Not a great. It's just a good tag team match for a Monday Night Raw. Nothing wrong with it. During the match, though, they cut to the back, and the Usos are now taking out Andre Chase, and then Solo plays a solo on his guitar and smashes that guitar over Elias's back, so they're taking out more talent. It's like, is this going to be an all-night thing? Because if so, that's kind of interesting to me. Where are they going with this? And again, as I said, Roman, completely unhinged at this point. It's just the next evolution of where they're going with this. I'm very interested in where it's going because tonight just sucked me in. It sucked me in. But back to the Profits Judgment Day match. Towards the end, Akira Tozawa comes over. He's got a cup. Dominic's wearing glasses because he's selling the mist from last week. He has the glasses off for some reason. Tozawa throws the drink, tries to get Rhea. Rhea moves and he gets Dom's like this. Finn's not paying attention. Montez rolls him up. 1, 2, 3. Street Profits get the win over Judgment Day. Did not see that one coming. And then afterwards, Rhea is pissed. Goes up to Tozawa, says, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Slaps Tozawa across his face and says, get in that ring. I challenge you. It's like, that ain't happening. But then they tease a little. It's like, well, they go to commercial break, come back, and the Street Profits have gassed Akira Tozawa up and said, get in there and fight her, man. So he does. Let's go to this real quick. They're saying that Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns will team up against Kevin. Yes, on the not this week's SmackDown, but the following week's SmackDown, the one that's going to be in Tampa. I will be live in attendance, and it will be amazing. That will be happening, I guess, 2 weeks from now. The last SmackDown, maybe the last show of the year. So we go to commercial break, and then we came back, and now we're getting Rhea versus Tozawa. And Tozawa ain't trying to hit this woman. it just ain't happening. So Rhea pretty much just beats him up. There was a few sloppy spots here. I'm not sure who it's on. I think it might just be it was just an odd match to have. They're trying to make Rhea look like a monster beast, Amazon, whatever, all of the above. And the only offense I think Tozawa got in is he hit a Hurricane Rana to reverse a powerbomb. He went for his dang senton thing again and missed. And boy, it hurts every time I see him do it. It hurts so bad. Rhea picks him up, Riptide, 1, 2, 3. Rhea Ripley beats Akira Tozawa. And this is something I've been preaching for months. Please let Rhea get in there with the men and start beating him up. It's going to make her look like the biggest badass in the division. Just the perception of it's going to make her look that way. And as the only credible threat to Bianca Belair at this point, that's how you build her up for this. I liked it. Next up, go to, Adam Pearce is in the back, and he's being interviewed, and they're asking about Bobby Lashley. Yeah, I don't see that one happening, my man. I think there's ways to get Roman versus Rock without him having to win the Royal Rumble and without titles to be involved. But that's just something we're gonna have to wait and watch to see what happens. But no, I don't see Rock winning the Royal Rumble. That ain't happening. But Pierce being interviewed and he's saying, hey, I talked to Bobby. We had a conversation and we had it up in Connecticut. And it's not a matter of if, but it's just a matter of when Bobby's going to return. But he basically is letting me know like Bobby needs to pay for what he's done. Then MVP walks up and he says, hey, interested you talking about Bobby because I would like to talk to you about something. So Adam Pierce is like, okay, let's go have a talk. Referee runs up, says, Adam, we need you. Something happened. So then he had to run off and MVP was left in the dust. And it's like, okay, what's happening here? Then we go to the commercial break and we come back and Dolph Ziggler, this is interesting, Dolph Ziggler, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander were the next victims of the bloodline. So MVP wanted to have a conversation about Bobby. Why? And then we see Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, members of the Hurt Business that we are all wanting to get back together, are involved in the segment that's directly after that, and they coincide with one another. Why is that? Is it a coincidence? No, it's never a coincidence. We'll see where it goes, but that was worth noting, I think. Rhea versus Roman, but let Rhea be the one to dethrone Roman. Let it happen. Rhea, it's believable. Rhea's a beast. Well, why don't they let men rock? I think it's just the perception of a man beating on. That's all I can think of. I don't know. I don't know. That would be my guess. It's just the networks and WWE's image. They don't want to have that going on. What did Bobby Lashley do in order to be in big trouble? He attacked the official, and then he attacked he pushed. What the heck? Then he pushed Adam Pierce last week, so he fired him. But then they've talked, and then I guess things are okay. But we'll see what happens there. What up, Tidy? What up, Tidy? Good to see you, bud. So from there, we get the OC versus Alpha Academy, another tag team match. Nothing great, nothing bad, just a good tag team match for Monday Night Raw. Otis was getting some chants there. That was nice to hear. For a dead crowd, there was moments where it was like, okay, I see what y'all doing. And they liked Otis. So in the end, Chad Gable got pinned and OC wins, but that's okay because they're building up to something, which we'll get to later in the show. So I allow it. And then right afterwards, the Bloodline attacked the OC and they beat them down. As they were Bloodline, then they get the mics and they say, yo, we run this. Sami Zayn gets on the mic, crowd starts chanting, Sammy Uso. The Usologist lets it be known, hey, nobody else is mad at what we're doing, but we the ones, they the twos, we the ones, we'll leave. They start to leave. AJ attacks them as they're up the ramp. Sami Zayn and AJ back and forth. Adam Pierce makes a match for them later in the night. Excuse me. I got Tidy. What up? They was saying, hey, what type of match won't happen in AJ? Yeah, other places can do it. It's just they're not on that same scale where it's just different. It's just different. I want to see it. I truly do. But I'm also of the understanding, like, okay, I get it. I get it. I really wish they would let Rhea like go to battle with some of these dudes, though. I think it would be badass. So after that, we go to an Alexa and Bianca segment, and this is where Alexa flourishes because her acting is. And they ask, yo, what happened last week, Alexa? What was that about? And then Bianca's like, yeah, girl, I want to know the same thing because right now I can't trust you. And Alexa breaks this down like, hey, Bray abducted me. I'm a victim. I was left. And now I'm kind of she's just not herself. And with the return of Bray, she's, kind of starting to feel a certain type of way. Very simple explanation that makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. And it kind of makes you sympathize with Alexa just a little bit. You're like, man, yeah, she was abducted. She was transformed into this thing and then left. So it's like, okay, Alexa, I can kind of see where you're coming from. Bianca's like, I ain't buying it. She gets up to leave. Alexa says, you know what? Grabs a vase and smashes over Bianca's head. And it's like, boom. That's what I'm talking about. I was a week late, but it happened. Lily in the corner. I don't know if you're joking or not, but I didn't notice it. But then again, I was kind of focused on what Alexa was doing because the thing flashed before she smashed her. But yeah, I think when Alexa's on and she's in the zone like she was tonight, where she's performing at the top of what she can do, I'm just like, okay, what you got for me? I think she's really good at it. Not happening. That never going. He might be on TV. He might be in the Hall of Fame, but he is done. He has done data. Very good segment involving Alexa and Bianca, though. Very good segment. And their match will be in 2 weeks. I don't see that being the final thing. There's going to be some kind of nonsense involved. And yeah. Okay, well, still, it's part of the Bray Wyatt thing. Again, I don't think you're getting that version of Alexa Bliss back. I don't. I think we're just going to get a different version of her. I don't. The little doll is always going to be around. It's going to make money, but I don't think that's going to be. It's not going to be the version of Alexa that brought the Lily doll to the show. It's going to be different. Next up, Miz versus Dexter in the ladder match to get the both bags of money. And as I pointed out to someone, when it's a ladder match and the Miz is involved, I don't get too excited because that man ain't taking bumps. He's just not going to do it. He's as safe as they come, and that's not a knock on him. Do what you do, Miz. You've made your living off this, and you've done a pretty good job at it. So, boom, it is what it is. But this ladder match started off very, very, very slow. Once they went to commercial break, came back, it kind of picked up a little bit. The only bump you got, which, again, isn't a bad thing because usually these are spot fests, and spot fests aren't always that good, but is the coming off the ladder, landing on your feet, and hitting the ropes. I think they did it like 3 times. So it was like, you're late. Unacceptable. Just joking. Thank you for joining us. And so there you go. She was. So Lily was. Okay. But again, it goes with it. If Bray's involved and Alexa's involved, Lily should be involved in some way or somehow until we find out where Alexa's going, which is not going to be the demonic Bray, Lily, whatever it was before. So, like I said, we came back and the match picked up a little bit. Johnny Gargano almost got involved, but Miz beat his ass down and sent him into the crowd and says, I ain't dealing with Johnny no more. And then after that, Dexter took advantage, put him on the announcer table, went up the ladder. He tried to do a leg drop off the top. Miz moved, came off. Dexter went to the table. Miz went into the thing. He tried to climb the ladder, but Dexter's right back in there, pulls Miz down again. He climbs up, and then here comes Bronson Reed, the re-debut, whatever you want to call it. Bronson Reed. He comes in and destroys Dexter Lumis, hits that big splash that looks oh so painful, and then picks Miz up and helps him up the ladder so that Miz can win. And now this is where I might rant on a little bit, and that's okay because I feel very passionate about it. I see a lot of people hating on Bronson Reed coming back. Screw you, man. For real. Screw you. Bronson Reed never got a chance on the main roster. Just never got a chance. He was released, which again, I'm not hating on the releases. They release them. It's their business. They do what they do. It is what it is. Am I a fan of it all the time? No. But I understand how businesses operate. Am I glad to see Bronson Reed come back and get another chance? Abso-freaking-lutely. I always thought he was decent in NXT, but he had so much more to offer on the main roster. He's a big man that can move and have good matches. That's right. I'll repeat myself. Bronson Reed is a big dude that can move and have good matches. He will be huge for the mid-card. Huge. He's not main eventing. He's not going after the WWE title. He might get a WWE title shot eventually, but it's not one of those programs that leads to a pay-per-view main event. Sorry. Not sorry. It is what it is. He will be great for the mid-card, which, again, has been built up since Triple H came back. So it makes sense to bring someone like him back so that we have more people that can help bring that mid-card back up. It's like, what the fuck? He pinned Okada. Yeah, he did pin Okada in the G1. I remember I watched that match. I remember it happening. Again, I don't think that translates to WWE main event. I just don't. But I think it proves that the dude's good in the ring a lot better than people want to give him credit for. Deserves a chance. Yes, he can go. Yeah, absolutely. Bronson Reed deserves it. And for all the people, if any of the people who hate on it just so happen to be watching this show, screw you, man. For real. You talk about rematches happen all the time under Vince, and now because he kept releasing people and the roster got trimmed down. Now Triple H is bringing people back that never got fair opportunities, and he's giving them opportunities. And now we're not getting so many rematches. It's like, this is exactly what y'all was asking for. Now that's happening. And y'all like, ugh. It's almost like y'all were bitching that AEW was doing it so much. Now you feel like, well, I got to do it now so I don't come across as a hypocrite. Nah, just shut up. Just shut up about it. If you can't enjoy it, man, don't. Just shut up about it. Bronson Reed is going to be big for the mid card. He's going to be a multi-time United States or Intercontinental champion. Bank on it. He's going to have good matches. Bank on it. I'm excited to see Bronson Reed. I'm very excited to see Bronson Reed. So again, screw you if you don't agree with me on that one. Damn, that one almost made me mad. Almost made me mad. It's been no, I can't remember where Fandango went. I know he's got a different name now. It's like Dirty something. Will Biggie? I don't know, but the little one in the house, she's desperately wanting to know where Big E's at. She asks me every week, "Where's Big E? Where's Big E? When's he coming back?" Bronson Reed was an Impact and had a banger match with PCO. Yep. Yeah, exactly. He has to at least give people a chance because most of these guys that got cut didn't get a chance. So I thank you very much. So yeah, and obviously he was helping Miz, so he's with Miz, and that's that. Another paid guy that Miz brought in, and then he'll end up leaving Miz and he off to the races. I fully expect Bronson Reed to be there. We go, Dirty Dango. I knew it was Dirty something, Dirty Dango. But anyways, next up we get Sammy versus AJ. We saw his match like I think almost 2 months ago or something like that. Good match. Same tonight, another good match. I think this one was slightly better. Sammy he wasn't playing the babyface this time like he was last time. He was wrestling as a babyface last time. This time he was wrestling a little bit more heelish. Another good match though. Solo come down to the crowd, distracted AJ. This allowed Sammy to hit the Blue Thunder Bomb and get the pin. The Blue Thunder Bomb finally got a pin for Sami Zayn. So that was cool. AJ lost, and then that was that. Boom. Bingo. As long as Miz ain't horrible and he's entertaining, which he can be, other times he can't be, but when he is entertaining, I'm all for it. And if it's a very simple way to get someone on the show without having to do it has to be vignettes. No, it doesn't. You can tell a story the next week. you can do that when someone debuts. You don't have to be like vignette in or here's a promo as soon as no. Let the shit play out, and then you can find out and understand things. It's nuts to me, man. It's so nuts to me. Blue Thunder Palm, boom. So then next up, go to commercial break, come back. Seth Rollins, he's out there, and he's like, "Yo, Roman, Monday night don't belong to you. It belongs to the Visionary." About this time, here comes Austin Theory, and he says, "Yo, you said that this title was the #1 title on this show, and I'm holding it. So that alludes to one thing. The champ is here. So put the rumors to rest. We ain't getting no John Cena versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania. We're getting John Cena versus Austin Theory." Man, I can't believe I even felt for that nonsense just a little bit. No doubt in my mind is John Cena, Austin Theory at WrestleMania. Y'all crazy as hell. But then Austin Theory hit him with the he said, "You're just mad because you're the third most successful Shield member." That one burnt. And then Rollins, he started, getting amped up, fired up, says, "Why don't we find out?" He says, "The belt don't make the man makes the belt." And then he said, "Let's find out what kind of man you are right here tonight." And he challenges Austin Theory, and Austin Theory is getting mad. And he's like, and then the Usos show up at ringside. And then Seth says, hey, kid, let's stop real quick. We got company. And Austin Theory's like, all right. So they start taking their jackets off. Usos jump in. They get on the apron. And then Austin Theory says, "You know what? Bye." And he leaves Seth Rollins high and dry. And Seth's like, all right. Usos come in. He tries to fight him off. It don't work. In comes Kevin Owens, the man for all this. That's the reason for all this chaos tonight. He gives Seth Rollins the save, takes out the Usos. Usos mad. Adam Pearce comes out. He's mad. And then Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, like, why don't we give these fans what they want to see? Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins versus the Usos. Thank you. The return of Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins in a tag team, because them dudes was the truth together earlier this year. Part of my favorite. I'll say one of my favorite matches of the year, probably type 5. It was really good. They have very good chemistry, whether they're going against each other, whether they're with each other. I'm all for it. Adam Pearce makes it official. My only beef here is that the match should have happened right there, and instead they made it the main event. And we all know how much I hate when main events are made in the middle of the show. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Is what it is, though. We move on. John Cena is the true champ. Not when Austin Theory gives him that A-Town down. That's what's going to happen at WrestleMania. Probably not, but we'll see. They can't do new vignettes on these people because they don't want to acknowledge where they were. No, but that's not true anymore, David. You can't say that anymore because they are acknowledging these things. They're bringing up Ring of Honor. They're bringing up New Japan. They're talking about these things. They started with NXT. They've been bringing up Ring of Honor. They've been bringing up New Japan. They've brought up Impact stuff. They are acknowledging these things so they can do the vignettes and talk about these things. It's just not necessary every time. It's not necessary. They can come in. Bronson, like the whole idea for Bronson Reed is that they didn't know he was coming. Miz hired him and he came in. That was the reason there's no vignettes for him. Duh. For the people who are just like, it doesn't make sense. Yes, it does. Duh. They didn't know he was coming. He walked the door like, hold on, before you go out there in 5 minutes, let's do this so that we can no. It doesn't. No. Same with Dexter. They didn't know he was going to be breaking into the thing and stalking, and it was part of the Miz's. They don't know these things. They can't make vignettes and things for it. So stop with that nonsense, man. I just solved it for you. That's crazy. Funny, entertaining how they promo off each other. Yes, and they have one of those tonight as well. Jay and Owens was an excellent match. Yes, it was. So then after that, we go to a Becky Lynch promo before we go to commercial break, in which she basically puts over Bayley, talks about how, she wants the real Bayley. She don't want this one that hides behind her too. There's nothing to disagree about, though. You can go back and watch the shows. They've talked about Ring of Honor. They've talked about New Japan. They've talked about other promotions. They literally do. So what's the disagreement? I'm very curious at this point. What's the disagreement on that? Because they bring it up. They talk about it. So I'm very curious to hear that one. Yes, it's happening. Absolutely. But yeah, Becky's like, I want the real Bayley. So I won't get into too much of that because I don't think there's enough meat on the bone for that one yet. But anyway, that match is coming up next. Go to commercial break, come back. We get Becky versus Bayley. Really good match for these ladies. It wasn't bad. I think it could have been a little bit more, but then again, I probably saving it. They're going to have another match down the road on a bigger venue, more than likely. So I'll give that to them. The match was good. Becky Lynch she loses because of a distraction caused by Dakota. Dakota and Io got kicked out, and as they get getting kicked out, Becky's taunting them, and then Bayley comes in, hits her with the monitor in the back, and then hits her with the rose plant. 1, 2, 3. Bayley gets a pin, and I was shocked. I was a little bit shocked because I wasn't expecting anybody to get a pin tonight. I just wasn't, and it did. It happened. So that's what happened there. How many superstars? I couldn't answer that one. Bingo bango. And then they also, the other thing I love is when they talk about how the crowd reacted. The crowd went mild. Well, if you watch a WWE show, the crowd is pretty much always mild. They only pop for like 4 or 5 people. We constantly bitch about how the crowds are not that good. So then Bronson Reed comes out and this crowd's like, everyone's like, the crowd didn't even care. Yeah, the crowd never fucking cares. That's the biggest complaint about WWE right now, is that the crowds suck. They don't go to have fun. They just go like, this is fun. If WWE could get an AEW crowd, I'd be so happy. I would be so happy. Dave, I think it's talking about how it leads to dead reactions from the comments they do of any, I think. They're going to bring up the Okada match and how big of a deal that. Maybe. We don't know. You're just you're kind of assuming at that point. But again, if this was the Vince McMahon era, you have an argument, and I could just shut the fuck up right now because I'd be dead ass wrong. 100% I'd be dead ass wrong. But since Triple H is taking over, I've literally heard them talking about all this stuff, all of it. So that's it. And they don't even necessarily need to bring up the fact that he pinned Okada or anything like that. They can just talk about how he had a run in the G1. It's still the same thing. And it's not as a big a deal to the fans that are watching as it is to fans like you, because they don't know or care about that kind of stuff. It's a sad truth, but it is a truth. They don't care about it. So it's not like, hey, he beat Okada, and the fans go like, what? No way. They're gonna be like, okay. So it's not going to help the cause at any. Whether or not they still bring it up, I don't know. They could. Like I said, he showed up tonight. The idea was that they had no idea he was showing up tonight. So when he returns next week or the week after, and one of the announcers brings it up, Corey Graves, obviously, because he's the man to do it on Raw. Michael Cole does it on SmackDown. Bring up things from his past, which Corey Graves has been doing recently as well. We'll see. I fully expect them to talk about his run in New Japan. 100%. I do expect it. The extent, I don't know. Definitely see it coming up. Wait, what happened with Bayley? Yeah, man. Bayley got the pin on Becky after some distractions and a fuckery, as we'll call it. Yeah, about time she got a W. It was good for Bayley. She needed it. She deserves it, honestly. And you know, Becky gonna give people wins. That's what she does. WWE should bring back some old superstars divas into the Monday Night Raw. And they have been. They have been, man. Let's just talk about Bayley getting double. That's all I needed tonight. I can sleep peacefully. Yeah, she got a win. So Becky Bayley thing, that ain't done though. Thank goodness, because I've been wanting this feud for a minute now, and looks like we're gonna actually get some real feud between the two. I can't wait for it. But after Bayley got the win, commercial break, come back. Seth and Kevin Owens, they're backstage. They're having a little moment together as they're getting ready. And then Seth's like, hey, we're back together. He goes, why did we stop teaming up to begin with? And then Kevin Owens like, oh, yeah, it's because you tried to steal my main event at WrestleMania. And Seth's like, no, that wasn't me. And he goes, yeah, I had the KO show with Stone Cold, and you tried to take it from me. And Seth's like, it could have been me. He goes, yeah, you had a shiny suit on. And Seth's like, yeah, that sounds like me. He goes, there's no problems. It's done. It's done thing. Now we're here. We're worried about this. We're going to take out the bloodline. But and then says like, damn it. And then funny segment, not too long. Awesome. I like it. It wasn't needed. No, it definitely wasn't needed, but it was entertaining. And I'm never going to turn down something that's entertaining that doesn't take too long. Bayley and Becky is going to be banked for sure. For sure. The two best right now. Hands down on it. Hands down. Seth and KO promos. I can't wait to see this shit. Unfortunately, I think it's just a 1 week thing, but yeah, they funny. They so funny together. Everybody talk about Sammy and KO winning the tag titles of WrestleMania. How about we just do KO and Rollins and then Sammy win the big one? There you go. Problem solved. There you go. Kevin Owens can still throw in the Usos, and Sami Zayn gets his spot. Everybody's happy. Everybody goes home happy. Win, 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 win. Everybody gets it. I get my Sami Zayn moment. That's what I'm talking about. So next up is the main event. The main event that they made in the middle of the show. Ugh, damn it. Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins versus the Usos. Kevin Owens and Seth, they attacked the Usos before the match even started. They were like, nah, we ain't even waiting. They just start beating them down. Nothing crazy of a match, just another good match. That was the theme for the matches tonight. It was just a bunch of good matches. Bayley Becky probably was the standout one. But again, it wasn't anything great. It was just good. You saw some new things between them. That was fun. Becky getting a little bit more innovative in the ring. I like that. But yeah, this match, I'll talk about this before I go to this. Last went to, which is November. Wrong. No, the crowd was as mid as member of set with. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I've been to a few WWE shows this year, and I think SummerSlam might have, even last year, the SummerSlam show is probably the only one where the crowd was kind of hot. But even that, I think it was just kind of parts of the crowd that were, the whole crowd wasn't, except for the main event, which was just because that was just absolutely crazy. And then WrestleMania 37 last year, even when it was the first show back, the crowd was like, it's kind of embarrassing at some points, man. It's like, come on. I love going to AEW shows for the simple fact that even if the show is not good, the crowd is awesome. And you can't have a bad time in those environments. You just can't. You literally can't. It's impossible. I dare you to try. Go buy tickets to an AEW show and try to hate the show. You won't. You can't. The crowd is just gonna be like, nope. Come on, man. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Get up. Have a good time. You're like, all right, you got me. You're gonna be woo woo. This is the best time of my life. Ain't happening at a WWE show though, unfortunately. It was good. It wasn't it wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was good. I missed the beginning. Was there a good opening? The beginning was Roman Reigns saying that Kevin Owens, you basically, I'm going to end you, and you're going to need the entire Raw roster to save you. He's going to make his life a living hell. And then they just started taking out Raw members in the backstage. That's how the show started. Yeah, the entire Raw roster. And they made good on it for the first hour. They were taking out a bunch of people. I went to my first Raw a couple years ago. They were like, yeah, I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. There's some more. So in this match, after the match happened, the end is coming. We get a lot of mayhem towards the end. Solo comes back down through the crowd, but Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson came out and started just taking him out because they mad about what happened earlier. So with that said, Luke Gallows and basically the Good Brothers versus the Usos at the Royal Rumble. I'm all for that. I think that's a good tag team match to have at the Rumble. Perfect. It's perfect match to have there. They ain't going to win, but they can have a good match with the Usos, and I don't care to see Gallows and Anderson in the Royal Rumble. It's not needed. Also, another thing to point out about the whole Forbidden Door stuff we were talking about earlier, where they won't mention New Japan, they literally have a New Japan champion on their show that they've talked about. And he's going to be at a New Japan show next month. They got Shinsuke going to do a show. Was it for Noah? Like, they talk about these things now. It's not the same show. It's not the same show it was a few months ago. But anyways, back to this. So they start taking Luke Gallows and Carlson start taking out Solo Sikoa. So that causes Jey Uso to dive over the top to help him out. But then Seth Rollins comes out. Solo tries to attack him. He moves. He hits the turnbuckle and he flies off. Then Seth goes over and gives Jey a stomp on the outside. Jey's done for this match. Seth props himself up. He's like, oh, man. Oh. And then, boom, here comes Austin Theory through the crowd and hits him over the head with the belt. So now he's out of the match, and it comes down to Jimmy and Kevin Owens in the ring. And then Good Brothers. Oh, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Oh, see? Let's see what she said. Do you think the high amount of high moments in WWE makes things complacent? I don't think so. I think the crowds are just so big and the crowds are so different because you have ages from like little to old and then everything in between that it just like AEW, it's kind of the age group is all the same. So when people are getting hype, you kind of like, oh, these are my people and I'm getting hype with them. But kids, they're like, when kids get hype, you're like, oh, all right, they're having fun. But it's not something that you want to take part in. You're just like, those kids are having fun. That's cool. That's cool. I'm going to enjoy the show. It's just not the same. I don't know how to word it any better than that. And no, it doesn't sound that good. But I just feel like it's because the demographic is just so wide in WWE that doesn't allow people to come together and be like, yeah, this is a great time. They're just kind of like, okay. Unless WWE constantly gives gold and makes diversity happen, you see different. I hope to see different energy, but I think they've given us a much better progress over the past few months, and it hasn't really changed. I think Royal Rumble will be awesome. I think people will be really hyped for that. And if they don't, I'll cat a problem in the butt. I'll get them going. I'll get them hyped for that one because it needs to happen. Said Amanda make a good point. It is a good point, but I think it's a demographic thing. That's what I think it is. And then so now match, it's down to Kevin Owens and Jimmy Uso in the ring. They go back and forth. Then Kevin Owens goes for the pop-up. Jimmy flies over him, bounces off the rope, comes back. Kevin Owens ducks under his clothesline. He bounces off another rope. Kevin Owens picks him up, pop-up power bomb, 1, 2, 3. So pop-up power bomb, got another win, like the Blue Thunder bomb. Got Sammy a win earlier tonight. So that's cool. That's nice. Like to see that. And then Kevin Owens is celebrating as everybody's outside. They go to they go to show like a package of things that have happened throughout the night or something along those lines. And then we get to Kevin Owens like, yo. And I was literally, as I was saying, it's like, Roman's gonna be mad that Sammy didn't make a show, and then right at that time, here comes Sammy. He slides in. He's trying to be sneaky to get Kevin. Kevin turns around, catches him, and Sammy's like, so they just kind of sit there for a minute, just kind of like looking at each other, saying a few words. They start looking like they're taking the tape off their hands, like they're about to do something. And then Sammy kind of gets out and leaves, and that's your show. So it ended with the nice little stare down between Sammy and Kevin Owens. Thank you. I'm loving it. Very, very, very good show tonight. It was chaotic. I don't like it when we get chaos every week, because it kind of goes to the thing that my girl Amanda was talking about, where they get complacent with things. If it's hectic every week and you just come to expect it, then it's like, okay. When something really cool happens, you're like, okay. It's just hectic. So she had a point to an extent, yes, but I don't think it has to do with the crowd. Anyway, the shows, they're much better when they're chaotic every once in a while, because it's like, oh, this is what we've been building to. This is the kind of stuff I want to see. And then for the rest of the times, it's like, okay, we're just going to build some stories, and then chaos ensues. Build some stories, chaos ensues. Because if the crowd, back to the crowd thing, if the crowd thing was legit, these are the kind of shows they should be going absolutely nuts for, because we've been building up to these things, and then they happen, and they're like, yeah, but then they're like, give me something more, fans. Y'all suck sometimes. KO got another W on another Uzi. Roman, yeah, Roman gonna be mad. He's gonna be mad. What would happen to Sami Zayn, the Bloodline? Sammy does win the tag team titles with KO. Sammy gonna be out of the Bloodline. It's the tag titles with KO. They already mad when he said that he was his only friend. Beaches are better in waves. Correctamundo. What a great analogy, dude. Great analogy. Roman is going to be pissed. Yes. I think SmackDown was taped, so I'm just going to look at the spoilers for it, because I don't think I'm watching it this week. But if it was live, it's like what y'all just gave me made SmackDown must see. This is what they've been doing really good lately, is they're doing things at the end of shows to make the next ones like, oh, that's must see. SmackDown more so than Raw lately, for sure, but they're doing it a lot more frequently, which has been missing for years, and it's just nice. Yeah, I think they taped it. They ran show to show back to back last week. So yeah, I'm gonna look up to see what happens. I'll be curious. Nah, she over in AW, and if you didn't know, she in AW right now. She had a match with Britt Baker. She won her first match back. She's wrestling again, very sparingly, but she is wrestling again. So if you're a Paige fan and you're wanting to know, and you don't know about AW, you should go check it out. It's on Wednesday nights. I'm gonna watch it 2 times. So yeah, that's the show. Really good show. Really, really good show. I'm really glad it was good, because it's the last. I won't be back until I think January 16th for the Raw recap. So that's 3 shows that I'm not doing a recap for. So to go out on such a great one, thank you, Triple H. I really do appreciate it. I do. I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed going over the show. Just so much happened. It was just fun. It was fun. The show, again, didn't drag. That's always the number one sign that the show did not suck. The show did not drag. And with that, I'll say I'll see y'all later. Make sure you tuned in. Make sure you subscribe to WrestleBuddy first and foremost. Make sure you're doing that. And if you're not, go do so now. And make sure you hit the notifications so you don't miss any shows. We got a WrestleBuddy award show in which we've done the votes. We're gonna get all the winners for a bunch of categories. But I'm adding in another aspect to it where the panelists are going to vote on the things as well. That way you're getting kind of a fan's perspective on who won the awards and an expert quote unquote's perspective on the awards. That way one of them's not so lopsided. But so make sure so you don't miss that. Make sure you have the notifications on so you don't miss it. I don't have a date at the time. Sorry, we're working on it, but it will happen. Don't miss it. That's I'll be back in January. I'll see you next year too, man. I really appreciate you've been in the chat a few times the last few weeks, and I really appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in, man. Next week was for Raw. I think they're doing like a best of show. I think I'm not 100% sure. I saw someone say something about that. I don't know. I don't know nothing about next week's because I didn't look. But I'll be watching. I'm taking a break. But yeah, so I will see everybody back then. And again, don't miss the award show. It'll be sometime during my break. I will be part of that, but make sure you tune in for that. Hit that notification so you don't miss it. And also make sure you subscribe to the Drip King of Wrestling on YouTube, or myself and my main man Tidy right here. He in the chat. Awesome dude. If you don't know, you better know, because he is the shit. We have our weekly thing on Sunday. That is on hiatus right now though as well. So you just go over, hit the notification bell on that one so you don't miss that one either. If it is again. I thought it was a best of because it's the day after Christmas, but we'll see. Doing back-to-back Raws would be crazy. That's 6 hours. Ooh, with that dead ass crowd, please don't, please don't do that. But yeah, I've rambled. I'm done. I will see y'all later. Y'all have a great holiday season, Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, whatever you're celebrating. Enjoy it, appreciate it. Friends, family, enjoy it all. I will see you then. Goodbye.